And we're back with, well, you've seen these guys play a time or two before. We're here in the losers bracket finals with KampfKrote facing off against Linyvine in their third major match since yesterday in the finals of the winner of the last chance qualifier.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this. They each have won one match, so this is kind of their tiebreaker, their grudge match, and the winner gets to go into grand finals against Toth. I'm pretty excited for this match.
For Linyvine, it'll be a rematch of the winners bracket finals that he just lost in order to drop down to the losers finals. For Kampf, he has not yet faced Toss, so it'll be interesting to see how those face off. But both players are already into the match, so let's hop down into the losers finals. As I pull it up here, there we are. All right, so mulligans are already underway, and that's a little bit of an awkward hand for Linyvine. All that power and an 8-dropper, not exactly what you want to have against any kind of aggressive opening, which Kampf seems to be able to provide.
Comp's deck always seems to give him these aggressive openings when he needs them, but I guess his deck is full of giant units.
Yeah, and lots of giant units on the board are pretty good against a 1-for-1 based removal deck, especially when they don't have a harsh rule to clean them all up. I imagine we
Or a
see
torch to kill an Argenport instigator.
Yeah, and no torch means that Cabal Countess can really put on some hurt here, as we're going to be smacking in for 9 on turn 4. It's quite the clock.
Yeah, wow. A torch would have been really great from Liney, but in the absence of it, can he come back from this? He doesn't have a harsh rule in hand.
I don't think you win the game if you play this Armor Smith here. I think you need to go for a Desperation Rise play, but it doesn't play well if they play another unit. It doesn't play well against removal. I know getting hit for 9 sucks, but you sort of need to hope for take the damage. They play another unit. You draw harsh rule, play it, and then you can play whatever you rised for to reset the board. I think you're in full desperation mode here.
Yeah, an Auric Runehammer to kill the Umbran Reaper is about the only thing I can think of that gives him another turn here.
I don't think anything gives him another turn here. With the Death Strike played, he drops down to 5. And well, I suppose a harsh rule off the top would have saved him, but his hand is it's not exactly what you want here. He can chump block and go to 2, and then the Umbran Reaper gets played, and then he has no more outs. So
yeah, that game quick and brutal.
Looks like Kromp's going to be taking another snowball victory.
Yeah, and we're gonna jump right into game 2 then with no sideboarding until game 3 because this is a best of 5.
Yes.
Yeah, Cabal Countess really showed off her power in that game. Just a 6-1, just so powerful. It's just you can't use a normal non-fastball removal on it the first turn. You can't really block it with anything at anywhere near the same cost. Just an incredible card.
Yeah, it's really good against Armory, but we're right back into game 2. Actually, I didn't even have a chance to update us. KampfKrote is in fact up 1-0 in this best of 5, and with no sideboarding, the players they're very eager to get right back into it. We've got a lot better hand coming out of Linyvine this time.
Yeah, he has the torch this time, so he's not just going to get destroyed right off the bat without a chance to respond. And torch very good against Cabal Countess.
Yes, one of the better cards, especially after they've invested its ultimate.
Yeah, I don't think that Kampf will invest in the ultimate this game, though, with a Steward of the Past to follow up on turn 4. But we will see.
Looks like he's hovering.
For now he's debating whether he wants to torch this Recano Artisan, which he does do.
Okay. I don't mind that. It means his Countess can get through without him having to invest the ultimate, as you said, so that he can deploy that Steward of the Past.
Yeah, and turn 3 he gets to do the old, all shucks, I don't have anything to play, your turn. Then end of turn, deploy the Countess and destroy the Sword of Ikaria for free.
Mm-hmm. You still got the Warcry trigger, but This is pretty good for Kampf.
Yeah, Linny did not wait a turn to leave up Torch and is going to get punished pretty hard with this Cabal Countess. That's a 1-for-0 exchange.
Well, it's
And we'll see. Yep, Steward of the Past instead of the ultimate.
uh, Lenny does have that smuggler stash to bring it back later on, and he got the war strike trigger off, so it's possible that he's not too upset. Um, but with only torches in hand, he's not exactly making a lot of headway. Although he can trade them off to clear the board.
Yeah, that's a good point. With that smuggler stash, he does just want to trade cards as much as possible, as fast as possible, so that he can play that stash and get back a bunch of cards. Here
Interesting.
comes a Statuary Maiden, hoping to bait out an Auric Runehammer, I think, because Umbran Reaper's Entomb effect doesn't deal 5 damage if the opponent is protected by the Auric Runehammer summon effect.
Linyvine once again shows his long-term patience. With nothing to cast other than a smuggler stash, he decides to hold on to it for more value in the face of that. It's just a 2/4 if you've got nothing in play.
That's true. The stash is going to be much better the longer you wait. Looks like he picks up a Treasury Gate here, so he's just going to take another 7.
Hmm. But Croft doesn't have anything in his hand right now to threaten him, so these are the 2 units he's really relying on. Even just something as simple um, as a harsh rule could set him up. But if he gets a die show off of a top deck fire sigil, we could see this game turning quite quickly.
Yeah, not only is it a powerful relic weapon for attacking, but it also gives you 7 armor, which is effectively more health, which will keep him alive against the Entomb effect.
Comp,
And there it is.
um,
I think you want to attack that one first, yeah.
well, something that he could be playing around is a Cabal Countess. If he attacks the Umbran Reaper first, he's sure to get it through. Um, whereas here, if Comp happens to have a Countess, it could use its ambush to jump in front and save the Umbran Reaper from the second hit. But taking all this face damage is going to put Linyvine down to two health, which is not a place that you want to be against a burn deck, or at least a deck that has stuff like Obliterate and Torch in it.
Well, Kampf does not have any obliterates in his main deck, so only torches would kill him on the spot.
Okay. But
So Linyvine is hoping for what here? What keeps him alive?
well, any removal spell would have stabilized him a bit. A 7/2 Auric Runehammer would have done it, but that sigil is not going to keep him up. He's going to be going down in short order, and Conf will take a quick 2-0 lead.
Yeah, again, just showing the brutality of cheap giant units. Umbran Reaper's Entomb effect was in prime display there, making it so that Linny took 10 damage when he attacked it with his weapon.
So let's go back to Linyvine's deck list and see what he can do to stem the bleeding here.
Well, it looks like Steward of the Past might be good to be able to trade with any unit that Kampf can produce, but what do you think looks good here?
Well, I don't recall there being a ton of relics in Comp's list, so I don't think the ruins are going to come in. I think he had some chart chain flails in the sideboard. Protect could be good, as I believe again there are some relic destruction that's coming out of the side, and it's also good for protecting against the Umbran Reaper effect, if that is a concern. Annihilates miss some of the key targets, notably the Champion of Chaos and the Statuary Maidens and thing, but they do hit, again, the Reapers and the Instigators, and, they hit about half and half. They hit the Stewards. So I think some of the Annihilates will come in. We'll see the Death Strike stay, and his own Steward of the Past will likely come in to protect him from some of those tough entombs. So there are some things that he can swap out, but it's going to be interesting to see how he goes. If he decides to stay with a more relic weapon heavy plan as is the armory main, or decides to bring in a lot of these spells.
Yeah, he really has to choose his position in the matchup. Does he want to be more aggressive and try to attack with relic weapons and end the game early? Or does he want to adopt a more defensive stance with Annihilates to control the board early and then snowball value with Treasury Gate and Smuggler Stash?
Now, conversely, looking at Comp's sideboard, he has some very good options against armory. Um, Charge units are always great. Soulfire Drakes with their 5 power and flying are going to be able to smash in to take off a lot of relic weapons. Sabotage is great, regardless of which plan Linyvine decides to go for, as it can take spells and relic weapons alike, and even Treachery's not that bad. The 2 damage can knock off, Swords of Icaria, Auric Runehammers, and the like, and take out a key unit potentially. Maybe it's a big armor smith, an early. Um, Armory doesn't have the best units, so I don't expect the treacheries will come in. But depending on how Conf wants to play it, he's spoiled for options here. His whole sideboard's
Yeah,
live.
certainly the 5 power cards are great. Obliterate and Soulfire Drake both can take out almost any relic weapon.
The Annihilates are probably not their best here, so I'd imagine those would come out along with all the plagues. So he's got a few slots to come in. I imagine we'll see all the sabotages and some obliterates as well as the Soulfire Drakes. The rest of his deck, though, it's looking pretty well set up. I think Comp might have the oh dear, oh dear. All right, these players are sideboarding like crazy. They've played this matchup before. They know what they're doing. We are already well underway.
All right, so Linyvine takes the play. Kampf plays a turn 2 Arch Report Instigator, and Linny answers it with a Sword of Icaria. To which Kampf responds with a 4/4 Deadly Champion of Chaos, which is going to get removed by an Auric Runehammer. So this is providing a key chance for Linny to get a 2-for-1 by taking out 2 units with this Runehammer.
Sabotage will see no big weapons, which is a bit unfortunate for him, and he decides to take a rise for the challenge since he doesn't have any good units in hand. But Comp's hand is not that good right now, with just a removal spell and 2 sigils. Linyvine is certainly in the driver's seat, especially since he top stacks removal and gets to keep that Auric Runehammer around.
Yeah, 5 damage a turn is no joke. That Runehammer is going to end the game quickly. And all Kampf can do is sabotage out a Harsh Rule.
Well, it does mean that the next unit that he draws is going to be able to take out that Runehammer, but when you're in a top deck versus top deck mode, you certainly favor the person with the better board position.
And Linny is playing lightning fast. He can smell blood in the water here.
Yeah, only 3 more attacks are necessary in order to take down his opponent, and that Annihilate does not match up very well against that relic weapon.
And Linny draws the power, so now he can cast Icaria if he were to draw her. And Kampf draws a Statuary Maiden, which will be able to trade with Auric Runehammer.
Oh my, but the lady herself will be coming down on the next turn. And again, Annihilate does not match up well against the multi-faction Icaria.
Yeah, it looks like Kampf is about to get taken down by this Icaria here.
So Kampf needs to peel Death Strike or Umbran Reaper. Those are his outs. I guess he could draw Obliterate if it's in, but that's none of those, and Linyvine's going to take game number 3.
Yeah, so he's bringing it back a little bit. That makes it 2-1 in favor of Kampf. And if I know these players, they're probably going to hop right into game 4 here.
Yeah, so we're gonna hold on to this one. I don't think we'll be going anywhere to talk too much about this one, but that was certainly a reversal of what we saw in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, well, Linny really hit his key card, Auric Runehammer. If you're able to get a 2-for-1 with Auric Runehammer, you can really pull ahead on the board against Stone Scar and start clearing all of your units as they play them.
Yeah, so here we are back in game 4, lightning fast as always. Conf is on the play. I imagine Lenny's going to throw this back. Kind of slow. Oh, well, he keeps it. Interesting.
He wants the torches to deal with early Argenport instigators, I suppose. But that's sort of the Sky King is a long way from being cast.
Well, he does have all his colors, and it's possible he's decided to go with a bit more of a slower pace game plan, rely on those torches for removal, and draw his way to a Sword of the Sky King. But Conf has a few some pretty good options going on in his hand over there. We've got some nice ones.
Yeah, Lenny picks up a Death Strike, which is another good pickup. But Kampf looks like he's going to drop a Soulfire Drake soon, and giving his whole deck flying or charge is going to put Lenny in a very tight spot. He won't be able to keep any relic weapons around for very long.
Interesting that he played the Statuary Maiden there instead of the second Champion of Chaos, as that puts a better clock on. But yeah, as you said,
Using 2 good units to a Harsh Rule.
It's possible. And it does in fact bait out a Death Strike, so Kampf has got to be happy about that. He's going to be able to get his Soulfire Drake hit in and then some.
Why do you suppose he didn't play the Treasury Gate on that turn?
Um, I imagine the reason that he didn't play the Treasury Gate is because it would slow his development down even further. Um, if he wanted to wait and uh, play the gate, he would still have to deal with the maiden eventually before he played his relic weapon. Otherwise, his opponent could just use the removal to get whatever he took off of the gate. But it doesn't look like it's likely to matter here, as Conf is sort of left with not a lot of good options, or not sorry, has left Linyvine with not a lot of good options. He can take out the Drake, sure, but this Umbran Reaper is lethal in 2 turns on its own, and Conf has a second one.
Yeah, the Minotaur produced by Treasury Gate isn't very helpful when it can't block because all of your opponent's units fly. And Kampf just top decks the Obliterate to quickly send himself into the grand finals.
Oh, well, there's those 5-drop sideboard cards that we talked about. Conf takes down Linyvine in a very quick game 3 after, or a very quick game 4 after a very quick game 3, rather. And we are going to have no rematch in the grand finals. Rather, we're going to see Conf taking on Toth in a Shimmer Pack versus Stone Scar mid-range finals, which
That
is
should be exciting to see. We already saw Kampf run over one Vault deck earlier in the tournament. We'll see how he handles this Primal version.
yeah. We're going to take a short break here just to get everybody back in game, but I hope to see you all there in the grand finals. We're almost at the end. It's been a very long day. Thanks to all of you who have stayed with us through all of our technical troubles and things. We're going to see if we can get through this break without restarting the stream. Thanks to all of you who are watching.